The stars always watched. At least that's what Commander Rane used to believe when he was still stationed on the edge of the Galactic Empire's surveillance zone. Billions of light years from Earth, he manned an obsolete listening post, officially defunct, unofficially forgotten. And that was exactly what humanity needed. They'd let the galaxy think Earth had fallen centuries ago. The collapse of old Earth governments, the last transmission from Sewell, the migration records, all part of a beautifully orchestrated illusion. In truth, humanity had burrowed into the cold rock of far-off moons, deep within uncharted systems, and they built, not ships, not fleets, planets, war planets, vast metal-clad titans the size of Jupiter's moons, layered with continent-sized cannons, particle warp thrusters, and hulls so thick even neutron pulses glanced off like rain. Entire populations lived within them, raised with one purpose: vengeance. Rane, a second-generation warborn, had never seen Earth. His world was Aegis I, a moving fortress 10,000 kilometers wide. Built from the shattered remains of Saturn's moons and fused with old colonial tech, it bristled with weaponry disguised as storm layers and mining rigs. And beneath it all, rage. Rage passed down from parents who watched humanity be laughed out of the stars. The Empire didn't see them coming. Their precious sensor veil scanned for heat signatures and FTL flares. Humanity used dark reactors, gravity drives, and a patience carved from millennia of waiting. While the Empire documented primitive relics in museums, humans studied enemy tactics and built simulations from stolen signals. Rane's mission was about to begin. His voice trembled not from fear, but hunger. "Target locked," his tactical AI growled, not bothering with a synthetic accent. "Tartaran Citadel in range?" The Tartaran Citadel was one of the Empire's oldest outposts, home to 1 million Imperial citizens, hundreds of patrol fleets, and a central command that had executed entire species on suspicion alone. It stood proud and unbreakable, nestled in the Omega Spiral of Sector 5. Rane clenched his jaw. Fire protocol, dust to ash. The deck shook, not from recoil, but from something deeper. A gravitational shift as Aegis I's core unspooled its main weapon. It looked like a red sun rising, an artificial nova forming at its core, shaped by decades of silent prep. On the enemy station, they would see nothing. No ships, no alerts, no incoming warnings, only light, blinding starborn death, and then silence. Because when a war planet fires, the universe holds its breath. Back on the bridge, Rane didn't smile. He didn't cheer. Instead, he stared at the afterglow. One target down, hundreds more to go. This wasn't about revenge anymore. It was reclamation. Humanity wasn't back. They'd never left. Rane stood at the observation deck, alone. The glass spanned a kilometer in width, thick enough to hold back black holes, yet perfectly transparent. He could see what remained of Tartaran Citadel, or rather, what didn't. It was gone. Not even debris scattered through the void. The Aegis I's dust-to-ash protocol had disintegrated the station on a molecular level. The scale of the destruction should have shaken him. 1 million lives extinguished in seconds. But instead, he felt justified, cold, controlled. That's what they trained him for. He wasn't born to be a hero. He was sculpted to be a reaper. "Commander," came a voice, gravel thick and sharp. Rane didn't turn. "Vorn, you're late." His second-in-command approached with heavy boots, his armored form humming slightly from recent magnetic recharge. Vorn was older, hardened by decades of covert operations in the outer belts. While Rane was born inside the war planet's metal womb, Vorn had seen what the Empire did to the old colonies, what they left behind. 3 more targets decrypted from the Empire's archive burst, Vorn said, handing Rane a data slate. "We've got Helion Prime, Sarek's spine, and something new." Rane finally looked at him. "New. Vorn nodded, sliding the data slate's screen open. Not in the original recon logs. A construct, deep inside the parallax rift. Massive energy signatures, cloaked, possibly mobile. They're building something, Rane muttered, eyes narrowing. Vorn sighed. Just like we did. The irony was heavy. For centuries, humanity was the paranoid one, always hiding, always planning. Now the Empire was reacting the same way. It smelled fear. It was adapting. That meant their element of surprise would soon expire. We hit Helion Prime next, Rane said decisively. It's a civilian sector, Vorn warned. Over 20 billion registered inhabitants, mostly traders, hybrids, and non-combatants. Rane turned his back again, facing the stars. Hybrids that serve imperial chains, traders that sell human prisoners for profit, non-combatants that watch and do nothing. A long pause. I just want to make sure we're still the good guys, Vorn finally said. Rane didn't reply, because deep down, he wasn't sure either. Far across the system, in a shadowed corridor buried deep within Aegis I's central neural chamber, a different war was brewing, one of conscience. Dr. Els Ranar, chief systems integrator and architect of the ship's moral override, sat cross-legged on the cold steel floor, watching simulations play across her neural visor. She had designed the ethical fail-safes that once prevented civilian-targeted strikes. Rane had disabled them 2 weeks ago. Bastard, she muttered. You've become what we hated. She wasn't naive. She knew war required sacrifice. But Helion Prime, that was genocide. There had to be a line, even in vengeance, especially in vengeance. She keyed in a private neural frequency, a single secure channel, one not monitored by the commander's staff. Echo 9, respond, she whispered. The line crackled. Then a voice. This is Echo 9, standing by. Els exhaled slowly. Operation Glass Veil is active. We're going to need the others. The others. A forgotten name for those who had refused to build war planets. Who believed hiding wasn't the way. Who believed in diplomacy. The Inner Circle had exiled them long ago, scattered them through asteroid fields and fringe systems like ghosts. Yet over the years, they had not died. They had watched, waited, and now they were needed. Back on the bridge, Rane reviewed projections. The Empire was already mobilizing. A string of outposts had gone dark, some destroyed, others pulled offline by their own governors, terrified of the approaching shadow. Rane's face remained unreadable, but inside, a storm churned. He knew what came next. Escalation, and that meant he needed something more dangerous than any war planet. He needed her. Buried in the heart of Aegis I, beyond access tunnels and restricted floors, was a room even most officers didn't know existed. The vault. Inside it, suspended in cryostasis, floated a human unlike any other. Commander Rane keyed in the biometric locks, DNA, blood, vocal cadence. The cryopod hissed open. The air turned cold, heavy with ozone and dormant psychic resonance. She was beautiful and terrifying. Hello, Kira, Rane said. Her eyes blinked open, amber fire in each iris. You swore never to wake me, she said, her voice barely human. I lied. Kira slid out from the pod like a shadow made flesh. Then the war has changed. No, Rane said, but we have. As Kira adjusted to the world, briefing herself through neural streams, the weight of her purpose